Good morning, boys and girls. So today in social science, we will learn a little bit about America's past. First, we will start with some vocabulary words. Our first word is explorer. We remember Christopher Columbus as an explorer who traveled to find new things and places. Now, an explorer is a person who travels to find new experiences and places and things. A colonist. A colonist is a person who lives in a colony. Many colonists came to America seeking freedom. So a colonist is a group of people who live together, and a colonist is a person who is a part of that. Independence. The 13 colonies gained independence from Great Britain or England. Independence is freedom from the rule of another nation. So we're no longer ruled by Great Britain or England. Technology. Technology is the use of science to make new things or to make things work better, like cars or computers. Thanks to technology, you can learn at home instead of having to come into school every day. So this is kind of a very special experience that we have here because back in the past, many people didn't have computers. So that is something that I'm very, very grateful to God for. So let's talk about the first Americans. How old are you? I know a lot of you are 5, some of you are 6, some of you are 7. Your age now is in the present. Remember, the word present means right now, the time that we are in now. You will be a grown-up in the future, and you were a baby in the past. History. You remember things that happened in the past. Also, you learn about the past from family stories. History is everything we can know about the past. History is everything that happened in the lives of people from far back in the past up to the present. So history is everything you can learn from the people in the past. A storyteller in Alaska uses his drum to tell a traditional tale to young people. The first people in America. Our country's history starts with American Indians. Hundreds of American Indian groups already lived in America more than 500 years ago. They depended on natural resources. Remember resources that come from the earth? Natural resources. American Indians used water, land, and plants in many different ways. Their clothes, tools, and other things from the past help us learn about their lives. This map locates just 4 of the many groups of American Indians. They are the 4 you will learn about on the next pages. So here's our map. On our map here, we can see that in the New England or the east part of the United States, remember, here's north. North is up on the map. South is down on the map. West is to the left. And east is to the right. Let's actually start in the west and then move east. So here, not too far from us, you'll recognize this word, is where the Shasta Indians lived. Shasta. Here, a little southeast of where we just were, is where our Navajo tribe comes from. And over here, about the Midwest section, is where the Osage tribe of Indians lives. Over here to the east is this yellow section where the Delaware Indians come from. So which group of Indians was in the Northwest? So north means up, west means to the left. Well, that's close to us. That is the Shasta group of Indians. Now we will compare groups. Now the Delaware living in the woodlands. That means they live in forests. Homes, winter long house for several families. Summer wigwam for each family. Clothes are made from deer skin. Food is made from nuts, berries, corn, beans, squash, deer, and meat. And our Delaware group traveled by canoe or on foot. So what kind of homes did they live in? In winter long houses like the one in the picture for several families, or a summer wigwam for each family. The clothes they wore were made from deer skin. See what they're wearing? That's made from deer skin. Food, they ate nuts, berries, corn, beans, squash, and deer meat. They traveled by canoe or on foot. So here, we're going to look at the Navajo living in the desert. They lived, so their home was in Hogan. Was in a place called the Hogan. Look at that. Their clothes were made from animal skins and from plants. Their food, they would eat cactus fruit, wild potato, corn, beans, squash, antelope, and deer meat. How did they travel? On foot. They really didn't have a whole lot of water, so they didn't need to get around in canoes. The Osage, living on the plains. Remember, a plain is a flat piece of land. Homes. So the Osage lived in winter longhouses, kind of like the Delaware Indians, except theirs were built a little differently. Winter longhouses for several families and small summer homes for travelers. Clothes. Their clothes were made from deer skin. Their food was made from nuts, plums, grapes, potatoes, corn, beans, pumpkins, turkey, and buffalo. They traveled on foot and by canoe. Can you tell that there's water in the area here? I can, because they had to use canoes. Our last group of Indians, the Shasta group, they were living near the ocean. Their homes were winter dwelling houses for several families. Summer cool brush shelter. Their clothes were made from animal skins, fur, and braided grass. The food they would eat would be bulbs, berries, pine nuts, acorns, turtles, grasshoppers, fish, deer, and elk. They would travel. When they'd travel on foot with snowshoes in the winter and by canoe. From what you just read, do they get snow? They do. Remember, the Shasta Indians weren't too far from us, or aren't too far from us. Natural resources in daily life. These pictures show some things that American Indians made and used hundreds of years ago. People in the present might see these things in a museum. American Indians used many natural resources to make the things they needed. Here we have Navajo sandals were made from braided leaves of desert plants. What were the Navajo sandals made of? Braided leaves of desert plants. The Osage and other groups who lived on the plains wove baskets from long grasses. Some American Indian groups in plains and woodlands, remember plains, I believe, were the Osage Indians, and the Delaware Indians were from the woodlands. So, some American Indian groups in plains and woodlands made dugout canoes from logs of trees. The desert Indians really didn't use canoes. So where might people today see things that people made hundreds of years ago? In a museum. Very good. Now, I want you to go ahead and I want you to write a sentence for my first and second graders.